Hey everybody, JuanMakes here. I ran into an issue with the K1 last night, my K1 Max to be exact. I have had very few issues with this printer. Last night I started a print after moving things around in my office here, and the bed started to tilt in the back, raising the Z height, going to level the bed, and apparently the front Z screws were locked in place somehow or another, and it really screwed the bed up. It threw it into this wild thing, and I'm not finding any information online as to how to resolve this issue. So I'm gonna take some stuff apart. As you can see here, I have my K1 Max flipped over on its back, and we're gonna remove the bottom plate and see what we can figure out. Because it was loud, it was scary, definitely sounded like something was very, very wrong. And my guess is we're going to have to loosen up either the tensioner for the belt that controls all three, but we're going to have to somehow re-level the bed manually and then hopefully update everything and see what happens from there. So let's get to it. I've got the Allen key here. I'm not sure exactly what size this is, but we're going to remove these rubber feet in the corners first. Looks like they are holding this lower plate in place, and potentially a couple other Allen head screws here. Looks like these feet are pretty well universal, so I'm not too worried about putting them back in exactly the same spots. Definitely want to make sure you disconnect power and all that good stuff before getting into all this. As you'll see, the motherboard and wiring and all the stuff inside here. Looks like just this upper and lower screw here. One in the front, one in the back. Okay. One more here at the top. Okay, then we just want to be careful not to drop the plate here. We do have a fan that's connected to the bottom here, going to the board. Just going to gently loosen that up and pull it out of the way. And it looks like, get you guys in here so you can kind of see what I'm seeing. We are inside the guts of the K1 Max. So it looks like we have some sort of belt tensioner here, which runs to the pulleys up here in the front, and then the one main pulley down here, which would be the Z in the back. Everything seems to be fairly tight. So I guess now we will try to kind of loosen things up and see what we come up with here. Zoom you guys in just a little bit here. Get you guys in a little better position to see kind of what I'm doing here. Well, let's see. Looks like the same size screw here. Okay. Okay, so loosening the two bolts there kind of loosened up the tensioner just a little bit. It looks like we can kind of squeeze this down to compress the spring, which looks like it would loosen up the belt here from what I can tell. Well, see if we can release the tension on this spring here, maybe. Maybe remove this upper screw altogether. I think that probably just locks everything in place from what I can tell here. Okay. Again, there's not really any documentation on doing this that I've received. I also haven't reached out to Creality quite yet. The belt looks to be in okay shape. I don't see any missing chunks or anything crazy there. Let's see if we can maybe put a little pressure here on this tensioner. And we can just kind of release the belt there. So we've got the belt loose here. And I think from there we should be able to essentially spin the bed into a position that we're happy with here. Spin that all the way down. And then let's go ahead and just pull the belt off of this side and off of this side here. And let's see if we can get the bed all the way to... So just a side note, I kept saying lowest position, but what I actually meant here was highest position. So you want the bed at the utmost level closest to the nozzle. To its lowest position, and then hopefully kind of hold everything in place, and that will hopefully get us back to what we need to be here. So we want to make sure we keep these pulleys in alignment here. So we're just going to lightly place that belt back in place here. Hopefully you guys are able to kind of see what I'm doing. Okay, I'm just going to kind of pull that into position. Let's just look and see if everything kind of looks to be in position, I guess. So I'm just going to keep tension on this belt so that we hold those upper pulleys in place. We're going to do the same thing again, just kind of pry down a little bit on this alignment pulley here, or this tensioner as it would be. Ooh, okay. Looks like our pulley is, or our tensioner here. I'm going to close this door just so we don't have any issues. I want to just be extra careful with that. It's glass. And I don't see anything that looks like any damaged belts. I'm not sure how that would have gotten out of whack, truthfully. Unless maybe something got down in here. I don't see anything that looks questionable or broken. So it's kind of hard to say what we got into there that caused our issue, but again, I don't see anything that looks loose or broken or bent. So I guess we'll put our positioning screw back in here. Now my guess is that we probably want to press up on this because this is what pushes tension into everything, and we'll just kind of screw that into position, and then we'll lock the second one in place. Now I would imagine we'd want these fairly tight. Our belt feels decently tight, not super, super tight. We got a little bit of flexibility there. I guess we'll reconnect our lower fan and our panel here. Definitely good to make a mental note of where things are located, what they're connected to. If you're ever concerned, just take some pictures as you're going along so you remember where things get plugged in. Make sure that's pressed all the way in. And line our plate up here. All right. Hopefully we won't have to get back in here for anything anytime soon. Hopefully it was just a weird fluke and everything's okay. We'll kind of go from there and see what happens. All right. Again, just keep it simple. Definitely don't need to crank things down super crazy. I think we can probably put our rubber feet back on the printer here. And flip everything back over and let's see if we can re-level this printer and figure out what's going on. Here we plug everything back in, flip our power switch here.
Like, follow, and share for more.